All right, hello, my name is Justin Scott, Lowell Ledger sports and school news reporter, and I'm here with another podcast. And for the second straight day, it's all about musical. The Lowell High School musical Beauty and the Beast is taking place March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 8th, and 9th. And this year, we're expanding our coverage more than ever with an in-depth student article next week, podcast, newspaper coverage, and an in-depth photo album. We're bringing high-quality photos into Ledger for over 3 years now, and now we'll have that same attention paid to musical this year. So tonight we're joined by two LHS musical seniors, Hayden Gough, is that right? Good, I got it right. And Faith VanDuinen. Faith VanDuinen, as well as sophomore Elyse Veldman. Faith is playing Mrs. Potts, Hayden is playing Beast, and Elyse is playing Chip. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
If we could just start, introduce yourselves, tell me a little bit about what you guys do at LHS besides musical, and then some of the previous musical shows you've gone in. And we can go Faith, Elyse, and then Hayden.
All right. So I'm Faith, and outside of musical, I do a lot of student council and National Honor Society things, and I also am really involved in the science program here with Science Olympiad and the VanDuinen project. In the past musicals, I've mainly been ensemble, but I was Auntie M in Wizard of Oz, and that was just an amazing show, and I've just really loved being a part of musical these past couple of years.
I'm Elyse, and I'm a part of the varsity golf team, which I love. It's super fun, and I also am in concert choir for choir at Lowell, and some early productions my freshman year. I was in Matilda, and I was Lavender, which was Matilda's best friend. That was a super fun role. And yeah, I'm really excited to be a part of Beauty and the Beast again this year.
Hi, I'm Hayden. I'm playing Beast. And I like to get involved with the social studies and Model UN, definitely more humanities-based stuff. With my previous things with Lowell's Theater, I've played Mr. Wormwood and Matilda and done a whole bunch with their fall plays and just had a lot of fun with that.
So, Hayden, I'll start with you. What got you into performing?
My brother, actually. He wanted to be a director ever since we were kids. And so since I was his, younger, easy to get to work brother, he would pay me in these little nickels and dimes to have me perform in his short films. And that kind of just kept going.
Okay. Elyse, what about you?
I started at Impact, actually, in the summer arts program, and I learned to dance, and I loved it, and so then I loved music as well, and so we put them together, and I started doing my first musical at Greenville Community Theater, and I've done it ever since, and I love it.
I mean, same as Elyse, I started at Impact with their summer arts program, but I really started at Lowell when I auditioned for Sister Act, and I didn't think I would get in. And then I did, and I thought I might actually have a chance at doing this.
Nice. So, Hayden, I'll go over to you. You are playing Beast. That's one of the two big lead roles. What was the audition process like for you to land that particular role?
The audition process is kind of the same for all the roles here, where you get 2 monologues, 2 songs, and you just kind of go through them at your own pace. You introduce yourself, talk with the directors. For me, I kind of went in with this mindset of just go for it, don't hold back, give it all you got, and see where you land.
Faith, you are Mrs. Potts and Elyse is Chip, so you two are on stage together all the time. Tell me, kind of what's the chemistry like between you two on stage in kind of these, as we get closer to the show?
I mean, we've known each other for a while because of Impact Arts, but I mean, I really do kind of see her like my child or like a little sister to me. And so the chemistry on stage is very real because that's how I see her in real life to me, almost.
Yeah, and I look up to Faith a lot too, so it just helps knowing that you are friends and you can put it on the show too. It's a really cool opportunity.
So it feels like you guys are kind of cast in the perfect roles almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
So take me through the hardest part of performing, and Hayden, I'll start with you.
For me, it's normally figuring out just how much emotion I want to put into a certain scene. Because I like to experiment a lot with where I'm starting and where I'm going, and so I'll try it once super low, try it once super high, and it's just figuring out exactly where I want it to be to get that point across to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I kind of struggle with my actions. Like, I don't want to do the same thing over and over, and I want to keep it like new and fresh to keep the audience attention.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my hands are kind of tied up because I have to look like a teapot.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of my acting is with my facial expressions, my vocal inflection, and that's been a struggle for me this year. But I'm hoping I'm portraying the character correctly.
Yeah. So like, how are you trying to like portray your emotions without like being able to use like your hands?
A lot of it is just like swaying back and forth, or just kind of like leaning to the side to show that I'm looking at them instead of like just like gesturing towards them. And a lot of it is just like big facial expressions, so you can see that like, oh my goodness, instead of like me showing my hands, I had to show it on my face.
Elyse, you're also a teacup. Do you deal with the same thing?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I kind of act like her, but I still have my arms and I can move around because I'm a little kid. And so it's a lot easier for me to move around than Faith.
So, Faith, take me a little bit through, without a lot of spoilers. I mean, most people know the story, but take me through kind of your big music number and how you're kind of preparing for that.
I'd say our biggest music number for me personally and Castle staff is Human Again.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just a bunch of dancing, a bunch of singing. That the harmonies are beautiful, but they're really hard to narrow down your specific part in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that I've been preparing for the most, by just listening to the song over and over again, listening to my part, making sure I had the dance moves down so that when I get up on stage, I know it, I've done it 1,000 times, and I'm not just going to lose it all in that moment.
And what's hardest for you? Is it memorizing the lines, or is it memorizing the dance numbers?
I'd say it's memorizing the dance numbers mainly, and just making sure that the stage fright doesn't take over and I don't forget them in the moment.
Mm-hmm. What about you guys?
For me, it would be memorizing the lines. Like, I feel like when I dance, I line it up to like the words and the beat, and it just comes natural almost. So I would say it was the lines for me.
For me, it's deciding just exactly what I want to do with my body, because Beast doesn't dance a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a dancer. And so I get to stomp around. I get to more dive into the emotional side of my songs rather than like these big physical things. And so it's just deciding exactly where I want to be, when I want to be there, and why I'm there exactly.
And I'm glad you touched on the emotional side of it, because I think in this particular musical, you have the most emotional role. I feel like Beast kind of goes through the emotions more than anybody in the musical. So take me through kind of that range of emotions that he goes through and how you're portraying that.
So Beast, like you said, he goes through quite a bit, and especially in that first act, where he's been kind of, in a way, blaming himself for the things that have happened, because he's the one who sent her that beggar woman away and then got us all cursed, and he's kind of struggling with that guilt, but also like not wanting to recognize that it's his fault, and it's all these different combating things. So he's very quick to jump on when things aren't going his way, because they haven't gone his way before, and he doesn't want that to happen again. And so he gets very annoyed when things aren't exactly how he wants them. But at the same time, he doesn't want to be that way. And so there's this constant draw back and forth of trying to be composed and then right back into that beast anger, and trying to seem gentle and kind and then right back into that roar. And it's just trying to find a good wave almost between those two different spots and that conflict in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a bit of a temper, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'll go over to Faith. What's your favorite set in the show, at least that you've seen so far?
I think it would just be the main set itself that's out there the entire time. I don't know if I can say much about it, but it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's the biggest we've ever had on this stage before, and I can't wait to see it put to use, and I can't wait for other people to see it, and just the wow factor.
and yesterday Tori and Hope said something similar. It's like a 2-story set. It's tremendously big. It's tremendously impressive. So I know I'm looking forward to seeing that. Elyse, tell me about some of the other cast members that maybe we haven't gotten to that we should highlight, like performers, backstage, anybody.
Yeah, well, Belle, which is Anya, she has an amazing voice, and she really shows Belle in her, like with her voice and with her like actions. Like it's really cool to see. I also think Gaston and LeFou are super good together. Their chemistry is super fun, and it's a really like funny role. And then Max, who plays the candlestick, he's really good at dancing and showing expression on his face, and also has a great voice.
And what about you?
I have to call out to Harper Postema, who's playing Gaston, because he's just phenomenal. I love working with him. I love interacting with him backstage, and just how dedicated he is to getting this role exactly where he wants it. It's insane. And same with Max, who's playing Lumiere, the candlestick. Dude just brings such a life to it. He has such this really big and upbeat, just wonderful energy that I love to work with, and it's great.
We talked about the chemistry between Elyse and Faith on stage. What about you and Anya? Because you are the two leading roles.
Yeah.
How do you guys work together on stage?
It's very fun, just because me and Anya have been friends for a really long time, and we actually, in our last show, Trap, which was the fall play this year, we played mirroring characters, which means she's portraying one emotion, I'm portraying the exact same one, almost in tandem, but even though we don't really know each other. And I think having worked with her before and almost doing the opposite of what we're doing now has helped a lot in getting us to start communicating and really just like having fun with it and trying out different things in different scenes to get that emotion across to the audience again.
Now, have you guys started to get in costume and do those dress rehearsals or anything like that?
Not really. Some of us have tried some things, mostly the ensemble, but our big costumes aren't coming till later on. Just because we're gonna order them just so we have like these really, once again, to match that impressive set, almost impress those same level of impressive costumes.
So you haven't tried on the Big Beast costume yet?
Not yet, and oh boy.
All right. So if you guys were to pick, just I know this will be difficult, but one reason for people to see the show, what would it be? And we'll start over with Faith.
I mean, it's a classic for one thing. Everyone knows the story of Beauty and the Beast, and I think this is just an amazing show with a beautiful set, beautiful costumes, amazing actors and crew. I don't think there's a reason not to go see it.
Yeah, and I think like you could bring your kids, your grandkids. Like it's a wonderful show for kids to watch, and the music can really take you away. It's a really cool like feeling.
I think it's just a very good feel show. It wants you to go through this experience and come out of it with a big smile on your face, having seen all these people who are going through stuff, but still come back with that happy ending that everyone kind of looks for, I think.
Elyse, I'll go over to you because you play Chip, and he's kind of that lighthearted, humorous role. How do you go about portraying that?
Yeah, so I am kind of naughty when it comes to Miss Potts, like trying to say it's time for bed, or you stay here and wait here while I go talk with the other characters, and I liked to not listen, and I sneak my way back over, and she has to discipline me in front of everyone, but still has a smile on her face. And it's a really fun role to play because it's a little kid who's just trying to have fun.
All right, and last question before we go. You're performing, you're in front of all these people. How do you deal with nerves before the show? And I'll start with Faith.
For me, it's a lot of, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a lot of, I do a lot of like shaking my hands in front of myself. I do a lot of like dancing around and like just like moving a lot to almost expel all that nervous energy I have from me. And my thing is, if I can get that first line out, I'm good for the rest of the show, because then muscle memory takes over and I've done it before. I can do it again.
Yeah, and like, how many times are you going over your lines, for example? Like, how many times do you go through that over the course of like several months?
Oh, so many. Because you have memorizing them, and then you have every day at rehearsal. And a lot of times, if I mess up during rehearsal, I'll go home and rehearse that again and again. So I want to say thousands of times just within like that 3-month period.
Wow. Elyse, what about you on that nerves question?
Yeah, so I get really nervous before the show, like anyone does. And once I like step my foot onto the stage and the lights turn on and the music starts to play, it feels like everything like just disappears and it's right to the muscle memory.
Yeah, I mentioned this yesterday. Like, once that light hits you, you can't even really see the audience at
Oh,
all
yeah.
unless you're trying to like focus on it.
Mhm.
Hayden, what about you?
Use them. That's kind of what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Because as an actor, emotions are your tool. You need to be feeling something to really actually feel something on stage too. And so here at Lowell, we have this saying that we do before every show, which is hearts on fire, minds on ice. And the idea behind that is let yourself feel it. Let yourself have that nervous feeling and put that energy into your character and into the show. But your mind controls your actions. You're still performing, and you still have to perform, the right emotion. Don't go up there and be like, ah! But really just allow that emotion to flow through you so it brings the heart to the scene.
I love that. I love that saying. That's great. Anything else before we head off?
Just make sure to get your tickets before they sell out.
There we
Yeah, they're
go.
going quick.
Mhm.
40% sold already.
All right. Well, we'll have a link up on our website, lowledger.org/musical. And, until we get to watch you guys on stage, we'll be nervously waiting, excited. So this March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 8th, and 9th, that's when Beauty and the Beast will be here at LHS at the Lowell Performing Arts Center. Looking forward to it. So thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.